Live is on. Good to go. Mics are hot. Make sure we're on here for sure. Here we are. Let's see. 30-second delay. All right, we're up and running. All right, everybody. So you guys know what it is, the American Troll Podcast. I'm not going to do the whole introduction right now. I'm running the boards. Today we're having a very touchy subject, a very subject that really hit home for us here more than anybody else, for Boo Boo, his family, his sister specifically. They've had a death in the family, and for all the looks of it, it seems like it's a overdose from fentanyl. And a lot of times, we overlook these issues, and we don't really talk about them until it hits home. And now it's definitely hit home. So with that being said, I'm gonna let Boo Boo take over, and then we're just gonna talk about this whole situation and see if we can maybe help other families from going through the same same thing they're going through right now. Right now, their world has completely stopped, and hopefully we can help them out. And we put the link to the GoFund on top of the comments section, and any donations that are donated to the podcast tonight, 100% of the proceeds will go towards Boo Boo's family to help them with the services, because it's bad enough having to go through the loss of a loved one, and also have to worry about the financial burden, especially in today's times. That stuff is just so expensive. So with that, Boo Boo, it's all you.
Wrong one. Hey, how's it going, guys? I just want to thank you for all your support with supporting me on Instagram, Facebook. With the GoFundMe. There's so many fans and viewers that support it and showed their love. I just can't even just say. I don't even want to say the names because there's just so many, and I just don't want to leave anybody out, make them feel bad. But with the GoFundMe and the fundraiser that we did on Sunday, I just want to thank everybody for coming and showing up, and just we're doing this because my nephew, my oldest nephew, which is my sister's son, he passed away on Thursday from fentanyl. Never thought it would hit this close to home, which is my own nephew. His name was Fabian. He was 29 years old. He's on the thumbnail that you guys can see. I also have a guest, which is his mother. Just so happened that we ended up putting her on. I wasn't planning on it, but it's just the way things worked out today. So just want to talk about a little bit about Fabian's life and a little bit about what is fentanyl. Want to introduce my sister Shelly, Fabian's mom of 29 years.
Hi, everyone.
I'm not talking into the mic.
Hi, everyone. Well, I can start off by telling you a little bit about him. He was a very happy boy growing up, going into flag football. With his brothers, he has 3 brothers and 1 sister. I loved him very much. He loved boxing. Everyone that knew him, that's basically what his thing was. Along with
Rapping,
writing, just liked all that, with his friends.
Also, Fabian had a good heart, a truly good heart. I mean, he never held a grudge against anybody that I've ever seen. I mean, there was times that he would make me mad, for using all my detergent for washing his clothes, or coming in the house and just going in and just hanging out all day, and going through all my crap, and it's funny that I would get so not upset, but just be like, damn it, Fabian, like again, like, but man, what I would do for him to do that again, use all my detergent. You can use it all you want, and when I would tell him like, Fabian, used all the detergent, and he always had that grin and that little laugh, that he would give. And it was just awesome to see. And it hurts to not be able to see that again, on Thursday night was the day that it happened. I had just got home. My sister calls me, tells me what happened. And I rushed back. It was about a 45-minute drive, but I did it in 12 minutes.
Family from both sides rushed to the hospital. They were there by our side through the whole thing till like 4 o'clock in the morning till we went home.
Yeah.
We watched him, them take him off, put him in my
Yeah.
bag down to the morgue, the last moment.
So, Shelly, talk to us about, you're the closest person in the world to him. You gave birth to this young man. Talk to us about, when he was a child growing up and all those memories.
He just seemed so happy. I mean, he is the kind of guy, and I watch videos now, the memories that people post. And if you were family, if he loved you, cared for you, he was really, really there by your side. No matter what you needed him for something, he was there. I mean, what can I say? I feel at this moment, it's like I feel like I have to be strong for everyone else.
Right.
So if anybody doesn't see me cry, trust me, I'm crying.
It's crying, yeah.
It's like my smile is literally a frown turned upside down.
Yeah. So I was doing some research on fentanyl itself today, so I can at least give some type of knowledge. What I found out that fentanyl was made in the 60s through scientists that were using it for pain medication, and it was analyzed. It was given to people through a patch, and I guess they give it to you through a patch because when you put a patch on, your body asks for it every so often, versus if you take it in a pill form, that it's just one solid hit. Fentanyl is actually 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine, which I always thought heroin and morphine were the same, but apparently it's not, was what I learned today from doing a bunch of research on fentanyl. Fentanyl last year killed 109,000 people. So I was thinking about that, and I thought of SoFi Stadium. SoFi Stadium holds 70,000 seats. So it killed more people than one football stadium in LA. Dodger Stadium seats 59,000 seats. And I was just like, could you just imagine going to one of those football fields and just noticing that all these people would have died in 1 year? I mean, this drug is just killing our youth in record numbers. And how do we even talk to our kids about not using it, or trying to educate them on what it is? It's hard because, our kids think they know it all. Like we thought we knew it all when we were that age. I mean, we could constantly just tell them, what it is. And, how do we even go about speaking to them about it? My nephew was in and out of rehab for a while, and he knew all the downfalls of it. But yet this drug is just so addicting that the person using it just doesn't care at that point because the high is so good. I don't know. I've never tried it. I never even knew really what it was until I started doing a lot of research because it hit so close to home. So I was on my research, the Oxycontins, the fake ones, they put two salt grains of fentanyl in an oxycodone pill, the fake ones. That's
So I was just trying to make sure. I was trying to upload that picture, but for whatever reason, it crashed down.
So so everybody has to join back in. Damn it!
No, but they should be. should be on there. Oh no, actually, they're still
They're
okay.
still there.
Yeah, you're good to go. But
So where'd I leave off at?
you were talking about the tablets.
Okay, so the tablets that are fake, which are the oxycodoms, the M30s.
Was that coming out of here? Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 grains or 3 grains of say salt that's put in those tablets. They run from actually from 2 to 4 from what I learned today. They're kind of like they explained it kind of like Oreo cookies. When you get a bag of Oreo cookies or chocolate chip cookies, you don't know how many chocolate chips are in each one. There's just just different numbers in them, so you never know what you're gonna get. So there might be one that just has 1 grain of fentanyl, or there might be one with 4 grains of fentanyl, and I guess depending on what you get is depending on what hand is dealt to you at the end of the night.
Is it is it almost? It's not even almost. It's like playing Russian roulette, right?
Playing Russian roulette, and how do we speak to these kids? That high is just way. They're just liking that high, I guess.
No, I don't mean to cut you off, but I wanna thank the supporters out there. Gil Morales with the $9.99 super chat.
Thank you.
OG Steve, $100 for Boo Boo and his family.
Thank you, OG Steve.
Man.
You know what? I'm gonna say something since OG Steve came up. He had already put $100 in the GoFundMe, and now he's doing it again. I want to just thank you for supporting us and doing what you do.
Appreciate it. Alleged, but also really, I'm sorry for your loss, Boo Boo. He also gave a $50 super chat.
Thank you.
And so
My family appreciates that.
The community's coming out. OG Steve also gave a $15 super chat. Prayers for Boo Boo and his family. I said money to Gold Fund. I will cash up some money also. Appreciate the support, guys. 100% of all this is going towards Boo Boo and his family. And then we got Carlitos, my boys, and a $199 super chat. All right.
That's right.
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Speak right on it.
Absolutely.
I was more here to support my brother, on what he's doing for his nephew. And it's not about the money. For me, it was more like the more that we can tell people to stay away from it, it's like you don't know you're hurting your family. You're hurting. I used to tell Fabian this all the time. Stop being selfish. Whatever you do, you're affecting everyone around you who loves you. But he was very, very stubborn. And let me learn my own way, Mom. Let me learn my lesson and let me, do whatever I need to do. And no parent wants to. If let's guide our children the best way that we can. And that's all we could have done.
Yeah, I mean, like we were speaking off camera, this is the absolute worst thing any parent go through is losing a child. I mean, that's just not natural. It's the other way around. And we are here, and I thank you for you being as brave as you are to come on camera and share your story. We're doing it. One is, believe it or not, therapeutic. You got to speak about it, because one thing that will happen if you don't speak about it, you'll start rotting inside. So you got to speak about it. Are you now questioning yourself, like, I should have done this, I should have done that? I mean,
I think everyone, maybe in my family, in my circle, everyone feels a little guilt
right.
in their own way.
Well, we could put the mic a little bit closer.
But, like his dad said, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Right.
Not going to do any of us any good. We did the best that we could with him. We loved him unconditionally. It's like we were here, but we couldn't enable him. Like, we didn't want to, So it's kind of like we had to kind of give him that tough love.
Yeah, of course.
Even though we didn't want to. It's just, especially me. I'm the weak one.
You're the mom. That's how it usually works out.
But
there's one thing I do want to say. Fabian's parents, mom and dad, they were wonderful parents. I mean, I've seen Fabian get disciplined by both parents, and they weren't parents that just let their kid run wild or do this or do that. They were both awesome parents, wonderful parents that from what I've seen. And, when it was time for Fabian to get disciplined, I've seen both of them do it, growing up through life in the last, 29 years. So it wasn't like he had bad parents. He had wonderful parents. It's just when when you get hooked on this stuff, it's just that addiction is really really hard to
To break.
to break. You know, to break, you can't do that. It's just hard, and you need all the support from your family, you know, to try to break it. And Fabian was clean for 8 months
That was the next question
prior
I
to
was gonna
this.
have. So did he obviously had some? You guys knew prior that he had some issues with drugs.
Yes, he was in and out of rehab. He had just got out of rehab about a week ago.
Right before Super Bowl.
Yeah, right before Super Bowl, he had just got out of rehab, and he was clean for 8 months, and he took his first hit, and that's all it took was one hit. You know, you kind of wonder. People tell you, oh well, it's because his body had already detoxed and he was clean,
Right.
and he might have took a hit like he did back in the days, prior to 8 months ago, and you just don't know. You just don't know if that if he took too much, because his body was already so clean from detox. So if you have parents out there, explain to your kids, what this stuff does, or look it up. I never researched this stuff because it never hit this close to home. Like I said, I started doing research in the last couple of days, and I just learned so much about it. And can you tell what has fentanyl in it and what doesn't if you got two pills and one is fentanyl, one not?
You can't.
I don't think you can tell.
And they're putting it in weed now. Too.
Yeah, yeah, they're putting it in all drugs now. Weed, and which is funny because why are they putting it in coke? One's an upper, one's a downer, or speed. I mean, and I don't understand. I don't understand how drugs work. But obviously, it's doing something to our youth where it's killing them. It's killing them. And in record numbers. And I don't know if anybody in this podcast right now is going through it, but if you are, you're not alone.
Well, this
You're
is
not.
something that can hit home for everybody because I mean, drugs right now are running rampant through our community, and like we said earlier, like it doesn't really hit home until it hits home, right? And I mean, it's so unfortunate. How old was Fabian when he passed away?
29. His birthday is on May 26th. Yeah, so he would have been 30 in May.
And how many times had he gone to rehab?
Uncountable. I was asking my sister that the other day.
Yeah,
or today.
he's been in like 3 different rehabs, and I know one spot was like 4, and then multiple times in the other ones.
So he himself, would check himself in, and then plus his mom would check himself in. So, he tried to kick it himself.
Well, the thing is that the past times he
Yeah.
would go in and out himself. This last time is when it was
Court ordered.
court ordered.
But when him going in and out, that means he knew he had a problem. He was trying to fix it. Now, now, Mom, would he ever confide in you and talk to you about his addiction at all?
It just basically saying that it's hard. He tried, and when he how do you call it when he stopped and he was in pain. I don't know what that's called.
When
But
he was
he
kicking the
couldn't take
drug.
it. Yeah, he couldn't handle the pain, so he'd want me to go get him. I don't even know what it's called either. Like something to kind of like calm it down. But yeah, I seen him try his best, but people also say that when he like this last time do go voluntarily, so obviously he wasn't ready to do it. But honestly, like after everything he's been through, it's like this last time, like he may not have, gotten a degree or this or that, but like I probably was more proud of him this last time just for going through that whole thing and seeing that he wanted, he just going to see his son, get in contact with multiple people, getting in touch with them, looking so healthy. And it made me proud because I always told him before I die, I want to make sure he's good,
They say when you pass, you contact a lot of people. And I started, talking to, everybody on the streets and all his friends and all that he was contacting everybody like within the last week, to see how they were doing. Even people that kind of, he had a little beef with, he was contacting them as well, and it's kind of funny how people do that in life. I've heard that multiple times. When people pass away, well, man, this he got a hold of me out of nowhere, and it's just kind of shocking. Like that's true. When somebody they don't know they're gonna go, but they start contacting people they really don't talk to, to see how they're doing and stuff like that. And he had done that. You know, um, I also want to say that if your kids are hooked on any type of drugs, Norcan is free. You can go to any drug rehab or any a drug rehab, and they can give you the shots of Norcan, so you have them at home, or even give them to your son just in case they do OD. Norcan, it does a reverse effect. And that's given free now. And something else I've also learned, that you could just go to any drug rehab and they'll give them to you for free.
I didn't know that.
And this is what this is what the hospitals use to bring you back.
Well,
You know-
remember what I told you about that about them not having the proper to kick
Oh,
fentanyl.
to kick fentanyl. Yeah, like me and my sister were talking earlier, and people people know how to kick heroin. There's people that can help you kick heroin, but fentanyl, no, it's so. I don't want to say new, but it's new to the street.
It's new to the streets. Yes.
And the experts haven't figured out how to kick people off of it. So that's another, I guess I want to say, bad thing.
Now, when did you guys very first time you knew Fabian had an actual problem with drugs? Do you remember that?
God, probably where I actually started seeing it was probably like 5 years.
So, this is fairly new then. I mean,
Yeah,
5 years.
I think he was,
Dabbling
I
with
thought
it?
he was just doing like the weed and stuff like that. But it just, yeah, just started to get worse and just, you know, like any addict, start thinking things are missing from your house, or, just the staying out longer and sleeping longer in the home, and irregular, how he was, and not talking. Basically, he would just
Shut down.
Yeah. Versus if the way you see him on drugs versus the way he was normally healthy, like lately, totally two different people.
Well, that's typically the when it comes to drugs. I mean, you turn into a completely different person, and that's not the person that you know and love. Uh, I mean, at least at the very end, you guys seen who he was before, and went through that. Now, have you guys had any conversation like with his friends about this stuff?
I've had numerous conversations with them, and they got into detail on what they actually did for him. Um, I don't really want to bring it up because what actually happened on the streets. But I do got to give his homies props for calling 911. A few months ago, I had another cousin from my dad's side of the family. He's about Fabian's age. He OD'd, and his homeboys threw him in the gutter and took off.
Oh,
And
man.
some lady watched it and called 911. And I don't know if it's people don't know the laws on ODing, but they've come up with the Good Samaritan law that if we are in here doing drugs and I OD, you have the right to call 911, and they will not prosecute you for using or for having or for even attempted murder. They just pretty much, it's called the Good Samaritan law. So that gives you the opportunity to call 911 and save a life, versus people are scared to save a life, and they run because they don't want to go to jail for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, you don't want to get tried for that.
Yeah, so that's when they came up with the Good Samaritan law. So now you could call 911, and I don't know if I didn't know about that till I started doing research.
Right.
So that's a good thing. If you're with your homeboys out there and your homie ODs, man, call 911. If you don't believe me about the Good Samaritan law, go look it up and find out for yourself. I encourage you to go look that law up.
And now, are you seeing like I myself, Boo Boo, I can honestly say I'm not even sure how many of the homies are using this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I thought the homies were doing weed, Scante, which like man, it's killing us. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
But Scante seems like it's killing you in the long run. But
Mm-hmm.
fentanyl seems like it's killing you very quick. Are you seeing that a lot in the hood now?
Well, yeah. I mean, back in the '90s, it was all heroin. Now heroin is like obsolete here in LA. You know, it's hard to get. Everything is fentanyl. It's just so much easier to get. And doing research on that too, I learned that. I mean, I learned a lot about drugs in the last couple of days, and I thought I ever would.
Right.
And I heard here in LA that heroin is obsolete now. It's so hard to get here in LA.
Walter Beasley, this is very important. Bless you. Appreciate that $50 super chat. The community is really coming out. Carl, 49.99 super chat, and like your sister said, this is not about the money, but this is just shows how much support the community has out there, because it's hard enough doing what you guys are going through to get the financial stuff behind it. That's also very tough. And I want to just sit there and thank you guys for having
This is not easy.
Yeah.
Man, it's just
this is
not
something we
easy.
wish we didn't have to do.
No, but the reason why I thought of it, and like I said, I didn't. It's a blessing that my sister's here. That was very unplanned, but it was to get the knowledge out to our fans, of fentanyl, and how this is just killing our youth, and how I never, ever would expect that it hit this close to home.
Yeah, what's up? You can't hear you. You got to come over here and talk to the mic.
Here.
Oh, go sit over there. Yeah, go sit over there. I need to get him a mic. Hold on. I got you.
I think that there's one sitting right there. Oh, you got that one?
Yeah, take it.
When you guys are ready.
You're ready.
Ready?
Yeah.
How you doing, everybody? Anyhow, a week prior from finding out about Fabian, I got a phone call from a buddy of mine. He lives up in Texas. We grew up from since we were kids. I got the phone call. He was crying. I don't know what the phone call was about. I
Mhm.
did get a text in between that phone call from my daughter, and saying that a friend of ours named David, aka Flair, is what he went by, had OD'd.
Mhm.
I didn't know what he OD'd from, but when I actually got to talk to my best friend that lives up in Texas, he said he got in contact with his family. Find out he passed away from fentanyl as well.
Mhm.
He was correct. He was 50. He's somebody that I grew up with, man. Good people. It's this drug is just sucks, man.
Yeah.
Because you know what, it's taking a lot of lives.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm pretty sure the same thing you guys feel with your kids. My son's out there right now running around. Sometimes good thing right now he's at work, but when he's out there with his buddies, I call him, I text him, try to make sure he's okay. But there's always that worry behind me.
Yes, there is.
I was
Yes.
always thinking about, hey man, what are you doing? Or gets upset when I text him. When I tell him, hey man, it's I don't text you to bother you. I text you because I love you, because I care for you. I don't
right.
want you to make those wrong decisions that I made in my past.
Mhm.
And like I tell him, man, I had a drug problem in the 90s, and it was no fun.
Yeah.
I was strung out for about 7 years straight. I couldn't get out of it. My mom, my whole family, they did what are those called interventions, and I got very upset, man.
Mhm.
I had to walk out because I was upset because I just felt like everybody was attacking me, which in reality they weren't attacking me.
They're trying to help you.
They're trying to help me.
Mhm.
But when you're consumed by something, a drug, for whatever reason, whatever drug it is, that's how you're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to hear the truth, but nobody wants to hear the truth. That's just the
Yeah.
way it is. So from one drug addict to another, that I have been there before, I can tell you that it's not a fun thing, you know. You're gonna hurt your family, you know, and you don't see it because you're consumed by this drug,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But once you go through these steps, you know, from just getting better, man, for
Yeah.
yourself, clean, you start to see things different.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it took me a long time, but I did it cold turkey.
Yeah.
I didn't go to a rehab. You know, I completely quit cold turkey because one day I just saw my kids, man, my daughters, and for what reason, I don't know what made me stop, but I just looked at my kids and I was like, you know what, it's done. You know, I went through cold sweats, man, for about 2 weeks straight. You know, I was throwing up like crazy because I could not hold anything down.
Yeah.
But point being is that there's a lot of help out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we can just ask for that, not be afraid, not be ashamed. Go out there and ask for help, man.
Of
You know,
course.
because there's a lot of people out there that are suffering from addiction. You know, there's got to be a different way for us, especially the community, come together to help out these individuals, man, that are going through these hard times right now. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to put it out there. You know, it's not about
Thank
me,
you.
it's about everyone out there. All these people going through these tough times right now. It's bad enough right now in times the way we are living. You know, it's tough. Money's tough. You know, just living is tough.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
if you don't ask for help, no one's ever gonna know. You know, I just wanted to share that with you
Thank you.
guys, and
Thank you. Thank
No.
you. You know, me and my sister were talking on the way over here, and you know, when you're going through it, not necessarily going through what we've gone through in the last couple of days, but you know, everybody says, "Oh well, you know, you got to let Fabian hit rock bottom," you know, and before he realizes it. But you know, I turn around and ask my sister, "What's rock bottom?" You know, you don't know what rock bottom is, because in our case, rock bottom was Fabian's not no longer with us.
right,
You know, so don't wait till he hits rock bottom. You know, always be there to help, and always be there to um to be there for your kids. I mean, they're your kids, people you love. Even if they get mad, they're not getting mad because they know they're loved. It's just that it's the drug that's taking over. You know, and they want the help deep down inside,
right.
but it's just the drug that's controlling their mind, and they just it's just something else is controlling their feelings and mind.
That's weird, and he knew that because
Mhm.
I would tell him, you know, all that talking to yourself and thinking somebody's talking about you and just
Mhm.
acting all weird. I
Yeah.
was just like, honestly, I don't mean to sound religious. I'm like, but that's the devil talking to you.
Yeah.
You're opening a whole new portal,
Mhm.
and he knew it.
Yeah.
He knew it. He's like, you're right, mom, because I know. You know, but
So you had multiple conversations with Fabian.
I did
about-
because you know I loved him. I wanted him to stop, and he would say, "Oh yeah, for you, no, everything that you say for me,
Mhm.
no." I'm like, it's about your son.
Yeah.
You have to live for your kids,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's just
It's very controlling. The drug is very controlling and it's very addicting.
Yeah.
So it's a hard drug to break.
Well, I think just about all like very hard drugs, as far as like heroin, meth. I think it's very difficult to break. And right now, I'm getting a little. I'm getting not a little, a lot of humble pie for myself because I'm always very tough on it. But when I say the stuff that I say about guys who use drugs and all that, I don't mean it in a bad way, brother. I don't. Right now, my heart is aching. I feel your guys' pain in here, and it's something that no family should be going through whatsoever. So I'm just here trying to learn from it, and hopefully we can teach others that we need to get involved. We need to get involved. We need to have some kind of solutions. But I still feel the same way that a lot of times the system enables people. The great part having rehabs, yes, that's an absolute must. And I just believe that there should be more mandatory rehabs.
Oh yeah,
Straight up, we need to
Yes.
force people
Yeah.
like how you were saying, Shady, how you felt like people were attacking you and they weren't. They were helping you because they loved you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, man. Plenty times that I felt that, and I can sit here and tell you, and it's not something that I wanna, I would like to talk about it, but to be quite honest with you, my choice of drug was rock cocaine when that was in, and I took a hit. I don't even know how I got back up, man. This is, when I took that hit, I remember falling forward and I hit the wall face first.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I was having an overdose. I don't know what was going on, man. I just remember putting my hands up against the wall and I fell on my knees and I was just trying to shake it off. And a few homeboys were down the way. They didn't even see what was going on because they were too busy doing their own thing. It took me probably about 15, 20 minutes, probably maybe, to just get myself back together.
Yeah.
And I remember getting up finally, and I don't know how I did it, man. I walked home,
Yeah.
and I made it home. Hey, man, I'm still here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
And then when you see all these things going on with all these youngsters, man, especially these youngsters out here that are touching this stuff, man, they don't even know what they're touching, man.
Yeah.
This fentanyl is mixed in everything nowadays, and you touch just that one time, man, and that's it.
I just don't understand how people can overdose once, twice, 3 times and continue to do it. I mean, maybe because I've never been,
Right.
Addicted, but that's why I think I just feel like I always get curious as to why, what triggered you to do it? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, if you had, I figured at least if you would have had somebody to talk to,
Yeah.
then, could have been another way to kind of get over this.
I think it's a lot of people just believe this is part of it. I'm gonna OD, and they kind of joke it off and probably make a joke about it that oh, fool, that's your third time ODing, and in reality, they know that they have a huge problem. They just know that they're so weak when it comes to the drugs that it doesn't matter, and that's why I say it's not the same person. When somebody's so high on drugs, they're that drug addict. They're no longer that person, until they finally come off the drugs. Because I know a lot of people like Shady. I grew up with Shady. I know what he's talking about. I was there in the streets with him. I know a lot of homies that were on drugs that now are no longer, and these guys were guys that you would have never thought in your life they'd get clean. So you can do it. It's just a matter of finally, amarrándote los huevos and saying, that's it, I'm done.
On how bad you want it.
How bad you want it. And unfortunately, your son just didn't get that opportunity. And that's the scary part, especially with fentanyl. With fentanyl, it's killing people. I mean,
It knows no color line.
it knows zero.
It knows
color
no
line.
color line. It doesn't care what race you are, who you are, if you're rich, you're poor. I mean, once it hits your family as close as it did to ours, I mean, that's kind of another reason why I came out here. So, I'm not excluded.
Yeah.
My sister's not excluded from the horrors of drug abuse.
Right.
And don't be ashamed of it. I know the people that's watched American Cholo, know that I'm a private person. I'm not somebody that speaks a lot. People's joked around about it, calling me silent boo boo, and it's just because I'm just a private person. But with something like this, like, it hits us all. And I'm sure people out there have kids or cousins or nephews that are on it and want to help and just don't know how.
Right.
Even getting a shot of Narcan, it's free. Just Google your nearest drug rehab, and they'll give it to you, and give it to him so he can walk around with it. Because he's going to continue doing it no matter what. He's not going to kick the drug addiction until kind of like when he wants to. But hey, if that Narcan that you gave him helps him one day, hey, just know you saved his life that day.
Let me ask both Boo Boo and Shady a question. This is the question for myself. Don't you think we as older homies also have like guilt in this? Like we're guilty of this because of how much we push drugs
You,
and use drugs around the younger homies when we were younger. At least
you
I
know,
know I did in Shady.
It's a good question. I think sometimes I do. You know, it's been many times when we're out there, man, and it's like me giving it to one of the homeboys. Don't even know if he tried it at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I gave it to him. And that's my bad because as a true homeboy, I should have been like, nah. You know what I mean?
Poison.
You know, and you don't think about it then because like I said, you're too consumed on that drug. You're just doing whatever comes to mind at that moment, man. But
Because you're a
looking back
youngster.
at it now, yeah, it's a whole different thing, man. I would have never done that. Now that I look at it, you know what I mean, on a whole different level. um Again, like I said, man, there's a from my son being out there, he's one that I worry about because he likes to hang out with the homies, man, and there could be just that one time.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's easy enough to get killed by somebody else and also get killed by yourself doing drugs.
Right.
yeah, I see it as kind of hard. Like, okay, so I've been in the neighborhood, kicked it with the homies, did the whole 9 yards. How do you tell somebody, hey man, don't be doing that shit? Like, it's bad for you. That homie's gonna be like, fool, fuck you, dog. Like, what are you talking about?
No, I get
like,
that.
like I'm just trying to put myself back in the neighborhood,
Right,
and trying to
right.
tell another homeboy my age, hey, fool, what are you
Right.
doing? Like, don't be smoking that shit. Like, that shit's gonna kill you, dog. Like,
Right, right.
man, your mom's gonna hurt. You know that? You know what that homie would tell me? Like, fool, fuck you. What are you talking about? You fucking lame. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's
No,
the reaction you're gonna get. So it's kind of hard to sit there and tell a homie, hey man, unless he's a real close homie.
I get that, but I think
know?
also it was
You know?
you got to remember in our generation we looked up to people. Let's keep it 100. We looked up to people who are drug addicts. We really did.
Yeah.
We looked at people come out of prison thinking that's what we want to be. We want to be this vato. We thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But now back what we're doing right now would be taboo 10, 15 years ago. You wouldn't see any of us talking like the way
No.
we are.
Oh,
so
no.
so I'm hoping that at least younger homies could see us guys that actually were in that life are still in the life but in a positive way, and
Yeah.
we're trying to drop some knowledge on you young guys to keep you guys away from that dope, because to me, I've said it once, I've said it again, it ain't gangster smoking meth, homie. It ain't gangster smoking fentanyl. I'm sorry, it's not gangster. And somebody who gives you that dope, let's say your younger homie has never had that dope, some vato that gives you that shit, that ain't your homie. That ain't
right.
that ain't your friend, homie. A real homie will say, Charlie, homie, you ain't taking this shit. This is poison. And,
That's right.
Yeah, and for the younger guys that are doing this stuff, if you really love your parents, I know I've heard this
sometimes you gotta say
before.
if you love your homie, cause
Yeah,
it's a damn
if you
shame
love
because
your-
that's just how
Yeah,
disconnected they are. A
But
lot.
you're gone, and you just hurt your parents so much that you just stab them in the heart 100 times, and that pain will never go away. And that's what you're doing to your parents when you OD. You just stabbed your mom, your dad in the heart, and there's no way to fill that hole anymore. Because you're always gonna miss your kids. You're always gonna fiend for your kids, miss them. And they'll never hear you again. They'll never hear your voice again.
That's right.
So for you young ones, that are hooked on it, just
It's you left your parents holding the bag of pain, and like when I was talking to your sister off air, that's exactly I can honestly say I know your pain to one level below, because I don't know the pain of losing a child. I would never want to feel that pain. That's something that's horrible, but the pain of losing somebody like that, it's just being selfish, especially when you're on drugs or doing something like that. It's just being selfish, and they're gone. And the only thing I can tell you that may ease something, I don't know, that pain is gone. We're all gonna be there one day. That's one
That's right.
thing that we cannot hide from. In 30 years, 40 years, we're all gone. We're gonna be wherever he's at, right? So we're all gonna move on there, so that this world will be gone from us. But the thing is, we're the ones left holding that bag of pain. We're the
Yeah.
ones left holding that it just hurts, man.
That's right.
It just hurts. But again, I want to commend you guys for coming in here and sharing, because I know this can't be easy for you whatsoever.
30 years have gone by so fast.
Yeah.
I remember when my sister had Fabian. Fabian's a twin. When Fabian was born with his brother, that was 29 years ago. That just seemed like it was yesterday. Honestly, it did. And that was 29 years ago. It just went by so fast, And when I was leaving the hospital with my sister, she had said that he was born in this hospital. And I walked out with them. And today, he died in this hospital. And I can't walk out with them. And that said a lot to me, because that 30 years flew by. And to see my sister go through that pain as we're walking out of the hospital.
It's never gonna be easy.
No, it's not.
But all we can do now is cherish the memories,
Mm-hmm.
And keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but when I found out about my best friend, was one of my best friends, and one died out in Florida. That touched me, man, because I grew up with him, man. We lived in the same building. He knew my whole family. And like I said, a week prior from this,
Mm-hmm.
and that made me cry, And
Yeah.
it sucks because I can't be there for him,
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be there, I wish I can go out there. Just, I hadn't seen him in about 30 years,
Yeah.
But I kept in contact with him through social media. I knew he was doing good. He had got out of the feds probably about 5 years ago. He did about a 20-year stretch. Got out. He was doing good. Then he just got wrapped up around with the wrong people,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
So I was asked this question one day. And my buddy of mine, he said, "You ever blame your parents for you turning out the way you did?" I said, "No." I'm gonna tell you why. Because at the end of the day, my parents did everything they could for me to stay away from the streets, from the drugs, the choices that I made them.
Yeah.
I don't blame my family at all, or my parents. I'll always ride with that, and
Yeah.
take that with me, because I know what I did in my life,
Yeah.
or what I continue doing or whatnot. But today, I'm a different person. I'm a father. I'm a dad. It's it, man. I mean, I can't ask for any more. I don't have it all, but I got a roof over my head. I got clothes on my back, food on the table, family. I'm happy with that, man.
Yeah. Did you want to take phone calls?
Yeah, we'll take some phone calls right now, and and that's what it's about, Shady. It's about us changing the path for our younger ones, homie. I've known you for fucking 30 years, homeboy, and I've seen you at your worst.
Yeah.
I've seen you at your best. Right now, you're going through some, medical issues, homie, and we pray for you, carnal. But you're doing the right thing, my man. You're doing the right thing. All you guys here at the table, you guys are doing the right thing. You guys are I mean, you're putting your heart out there, and you're sharing, and this is what we need to do as a community to come out and heal with one another, because this ain't easy, man. This is something it's no longer just, and that's unfortunately and at the same time fortunate, it's no longer just in the ghettos of LA, Detroit, Texas, the Bay Area. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Drug addiction, fentanyl is killing children everywhere. And unfortunately, a lot of times, and I don't mean to get racial, but you got to have little white kids die in order for the community to really come and say, hey, dude, there's a problem. But it shouldn't be like that. Any kid, regardless of color, should be a reason for us to get involved and say, hey, there is an issue over here. And hopefully, someone can learn from this. Hopefully some young people can watch this and say, hey, man, I don't want to die, because let me tell you, young guys, To the streets, to the dope, homie, you ain't special, homie. You just a casualty. The streets are undefeated, and they're gonna get you, my man. So let me put the phone number up there, and we'll take some phone calls right now.
Yeah, the number's coming up. If you have a story about your son or your nephew, I like to hear about it as well. You know, um,
All right, the number's up there, 818-538-9330. You guys want to tap in real quick? Let me make sure I'm connected.
Fabian was a good kid. He had a good heart. I mean, all through he played sports. He baseball, football. He loved boxing. He would rap on the side, and he would be like, "Look, Theo, look what I came up with." And me, I don't know this new rap. I'm more of a '90s rapper, so I couldn't understand it, but I try to be like, "Yeah, that's cool, me. Oh, hell yeah, that's right, that's right."
You should have had me call. You should have had him call me. I would have told me, "Yeah, that's it."
Yeah, but I had no clue. But I gotta go back because I think he has like 3 rap songs that he actually
Oh,
recorded.
he actually did it,
Yeah,
huh?
so I gotta go back and actually like listen to him. I probably gotta play it in slow mode so
No.
I can understand it.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Okay.
Now,
So what's the conversation you're having with your homies about this, boo? Or have you had the
I haven't
conversation?
had the only conversation I had with my homie is the one that called 911. He actually called me.
So have it on air. Like if you're
You
talking
know-
to your homies, like what are
you know,
you going through?
It's very very painful. To watch my sister go through the pain, watch the family, both sides of the family, dad's side and mom's side of the family, go through a lot of pain and suffering. I mean, to have to walk into an emergency room and see both sides of the family going through pain and suffering, it's a horrible thing to see. It's just horrible. And no mother or father should have to bury their kids. It should be the other way around. Our kids should be burying us. Unfortunately, it's not like that in this situation.
Ashley Morales, go ahead.
How's it going, Ashley? How you doing
Hello.
today?
I want to say I'm doing good. My heart goes out to you, Boo Boo, and your sister.
Thank you.
Condolences. My heart breaks for you guys, and this is it's a real tough conversation for me. Drug use. I've had my sister-in-law. I'm not putting no names out there.
Of
I've
course
lost
not.
my sister-in-law to fentanyl overdose. My Nino, he was really close to me, and I lost him almost a year ago, and the heartbreak never goes away. And I have cousins out on the streets right now stuck on fentanyl
Yes.
that don't give a crap about what we say, about how we feel.
Mhm.
They stay out there, they stay doing what they want, they don't care. I have family that I see every weekend that I see going through withdrawals. I see them hurting and pain. I see them always needing it, and it hurts. It hurts so bad. Every chance I get, I tell them how much they mean to me. I tell them I need them here because, the only thing that I could do on my end is make sure that they know that I love them and I'm here for them and I want to help them. And I want to put the message out there to the kids that this isn't cool. Fentanyl isn't cool. It's not cool to take a pill from your friend, to take a drug from your friend. It's not cool to do none of that. It's killing people. It's killing kids. It's getting people so addicted. It's crazy. I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and all you see is drug use everywhere. I mean, even in the house next to me, it's abandoned. And we recently had a standoff with the cops out here because there was a druggie living in there. And I'm like 5 minutes or less away from a school. Like, the drugs are so bad. It's so sad. And my heart just, it breaks for you guys. I am so
Thank you.
sorry. I'm here crying with you guys.
Thank you.
I send out my love and
I
all the
appreciate
prayers
it.
in the
Yeah.
world because this is a pain that it's going to stay hurting. And I'm so sorry for what you guys are going
No.
through. To
Thank
your sister, my heart is with you. And, may God bless you and bring you ease. I'm so sorry for this. It's such a travesty to lose someone to drugs. I don't know what we have to do to try to put a stop to this, especially to the youth, to the young parents. to the kids that have parents going through it. I've been seeing so many kids with CPS custody because parents are on fentanyl, and it's never ending. And I just hope that everyone could speak on it and send out a message, and just I hope people know how much hearts break and how much hurt this drug causes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You know,
Thank
you're not alone with the pain. I mean, that's one of the reasons too of us doing this episode is that there's so many of us out here going through this pain, you know, from fentanyl and us losing our loved ones, you know, and I just felt since, you know, I have the platform with American Cholo that it had to be done. It had to be, because when I was looking up platforms like this, nobody's doing this. Nobody at all. And it's just like, you know what, we need that support from us, even though, you know, I don't know you personally or you don't know me personally, but the support is there, you know, no matter what, the support is there. And you know, I thank you for calling in, and, you know, I wish you the best of luck with your family, you know, and
Prayers go to you. and your
prayers go
family.
to you as well. And the only thing I think of is man, get him a shot of Norcan and just give it to him and just let him stick it in his pocket, you know, because one day he might need it. I wish my nephew had it, you know, because for 10 minutes, that's how long it took. It took 10 minutes for the ambulance to get to him, and
Yep.
maybe that's why it was just too late. But if he would have had it on him, at least somebody would have shot him up with it, and maybe that would have saved him. You know, I don't know, but I'm just thinking out
A
loud.
world of
You know,
possibilities.
yes. I'm just thinking
Mhm.
out loud, and if there's a drug out there to reverse it, you know, make sure he has it. You know, that's the way you show him love, because you know he's not going to stop.
Appreciate the
You
call.
know?
Thank you so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You
Thank
guys
you.
have a good one. Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, and I never even thought about that, man. We should look into and seeing where we can get that stuff. You know, give
Yeah.
it out. And like I said, I've always would push back on stuff like not stuff like that. Generally, like I would push back on, and I still would, like, you know, giving needles, giving stuff like that. No, but that kind of stuff you're talking about, Boo Boo. Unfortunately, this is the, you know, an eye
Life,
opener.
yeah.
This is an eye opener for us,
Mhm.
and definitely, brother, we'll definitely get involved in this, man.
Yeah. You know, and there's just so much of us out there going through it, just going through this, and it just needs to be said.
About Boo Boo.
Monica, could you please turn down the TV or whatever you got on back there, please? Okay, go ahead, talk to us.
Monica, how you doing?
Hi, how are you guys?
All right, and you?
Good.
Just to let everybody know, this is my cousin.
Okay.
Mhm.
So there,
I
Monica.
just wanted to say, because hi, I was calling because I'm watching this thing, and it really hurts to know what happened to Fabian. He was a good boy,
Mhm.
really helpful, very helpful with a good heart, and I'm glad you guys are doing this so other people can see what this drug is doing to others.
Yes.
And I want to send my love to all of you guys.
Thank you. I love you
Love
too.
you.
I love you too.
It's just my heart's racing right now.
Yes. That's why ours is too as well. You know. Tell Israel that we said hi and we love him too.
Yeah, I love you guys too, and just keep your heads up.
Yes.
And I'll see you soon.
Okay. All right. Love you, Monica.
So, talk. I want to talk to your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about the destruction that this has brought to your family right now. I don't. It's just because people need to see that. That's what it is. Because that's what, and I know it because your cousin's calling. This is something that across the board is like, that's the baby. That's the baby of the family. That's a young guy. That's a nephew. That's how has this impacted your whole entire family?
Oh gosh, he has a huge family, and it just kind of seemed like just our life kind of like stopped,
Yeah, it goes in slow motion.
you know. And I mean, you hear about death and everything, and I just feel like with time, I don't know if it's gonna get worse or better.
It's gonna get worse for a minute. I can tell you from experience, from my mom losing her son, which is my brother, and eventually it'll turn into a scar. You're never gonna get over it. You're gonna think that your life will never be better. My mom thought that she would never smile, that she would never, you know, me and my mom would get into fights, and I would stop. And I'm gonna confess my thing to you. Me and my mom was. I had to stop go visiting my mom because every time I would go there, I get into a fight with her because she would start crying, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this because I don't want to get emotional about my brother, and then I would start crying, and then it became to a point where I don't even want to see you. But what it was the pain of us loving him so much. So anytime that you and your family are arguing because we should have done this, we should have done that, deep down inside, you guys are fighting because you love Fabian so much. That's what it is. And the key is to talk about it. That is the key. I did not talk about it for a while, and I woke up one day rotten inside because I didn't want to deal with the pain. It's like anything else. You've got pain. You've got anything in the house that something's going rotten, which is that pain. You don't deal with it, it's gonna rot the rest of you. So your family has to communicate, have to talk. You're gonna scream. You're gonna call each other all kind of stuff because why? Because you're feeling pain that you are trying to express to Fabian, and that really is just telling Fabian, I fucking love you and I miss you, man. That's all you guys are doing. But in time, you will smile again, and what it is you as a parent are gonna feel guilty. Why am I smiling? Because my son is dead. But the way I look at it now is, I know that I will be gone from this world in 30, 20 years. My brother's no longer here, but I'm going to live life to the fullest because that's what my brother would have wanted me. That's what your son's going to want from you and your whole family. They're going to want you to actually enjoy life. So if anything, this will be a lesson for your entire family. This will be a lesson hopefully to the younger generations. Don't do this stuff, guys. This stuff will kill. Take this phone call real quick. Caller, what's going on? Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, brother? I got through, man. Yeah, I just kind of want to chime in on what you guys talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you know, in Raza and even in gang culture, there's a lot of drug use nowadays, bro. And I'm kind of like of the mentality where we need to be have like a more of a fitness culture, homie, more of a sober. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I've struggled with alcoholism and all that stuff, bro. And for me, my outlet is always to kind of like to hold myself accountable, bro, and set a higher standard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the only way, bro. Kind of like, a lot of us come from, the gang culture and all that, and a lot of older dudes, they don't teach the youth right, bro. They misdirect and a lot of us, hustle and all that shit. So it's crazy, bro, because you kind of have to. You feel like if you're counted. Well, at least me personally, sometimes I feel like I'm going against my own, bro. But it's like that's not it, bro. It's just that we've seen so much fucking pain out here, bro. And it's like somebody has to do it, bro. It takes balls to be kind of counter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, I think it's just tough all the way around. When the older homies and we were younger were teaching us that, they also didn't know any better. And I can say that, just like when I was a young guy, I didn't know any better. I had young guys looking up to us thinking this is the way to do it. But what we're trying to do on the back end now that we're older is we're trying to teach these young guys, hey man, this is not the route to go to. This is what happened. This is the sad reality of not just gang life, of drug life, because right now, like I said earlier, this has nothing to do anymore with the inner city and the hoods. This is everywhere. This drug is killing people everywhere. You got senators losing their kids. You got I think a few years ago, the drug czar of America lost his daughter to a OD of fentanyl, but you just don't see it on the news because they're embarrassed of it. But instead of being embarrassed of it, they should put it out there for everybody else. That way they can see it and hopefully not have their nephews, their nieces, their sons, their daughters. This is something that we as a community shouldn't be embarrassed about. It. We should come forward and say, hey, man, we have a problem and we need to fix it.
Yeah, well, I think that you mentioned that it's a double whammy, right? Like when you're like, let's say, like you're saying, really rich people, they don't really have much to live for, so it's easy for them to go because they have everything easy, right? But it's the opposite too when you're poor and you feel like no one cares about you. I understand a lot of these people on the street, bro. Like a lot of them, most of them are actually. They say 90% of the homeless population grew up fatherless, bro. That's another thing. We really need to push that. If you have a kid, bro, you got to be there for your children. You know what I'm
That's
saying? You
us
got
as
to be a
men.
father.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And
sir.
I don't. I grew up without a pops, bro. You know, and it was hard, bro. To honestly, for me, bro, I thank the Lord, bro. I'm pretty much, you know, I'm a Christian, bro. So that's my father, bro. But if it wasn't for that, I would have been fucking gone, bro. Like, you know, there was no one teaching me any better, bro. You know, so it's like I think it's personal responsibility. I don't want to get into politics, bro, but it is, bro, kind of like we are, just like you're saying, bro. Some of those cities, Seattle, you're giving needles, you're giving fucking dope pipes and foil. Like, bro, that's garbage, bro. That's why I'm not down with that woke shit, bro. Like, I have a lot of empathy, bro. So, bro, I grew up on welfare and food stamps too, bro. You know what I mean? Single mother, but there's a certain fucking limit, bro, where we just take advantage of all this shit and we want to point the finger at the white man, at this, at capitalism. When the reality, bro, we need to take that personal responsibility, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing that makes me change, bro. Like I have the love of Christ too, bro, and I love that beautiful that niceness, you know what I mean? But at the same time, bro, as a man, you gotta be marate los huevos, like you gotta be a fucking man, bro, and like you gotta be like a warrior, homie. Like that's how that's the
I hear you, my man. I appreciate the phone call, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me ask you this, Shady, and the gentleman they asked who's the guy with the mask. They think you're Zorro, Shady. No, he's not. He's not. He's not Zorro. That's the homie Shady. He's having some medical issues right now. That's why he's wearing a mask. Shady from Clanton. One day we'll get the interview. Hey, Shady, before you croak, homie, I need that interview, man. So, Shady, let me ask you this: you being a former crack addict, right?
Yeah.
9 years, you would say? I would say probably a little more. Shady's not counting the 2 or 3 years that he was smoking just nonchalantly. He only counts the years that he was smoking hard. What do you think about the government handing out crack pipes and stuff like that to the community? You think it's a good thing or you think it's a bad thing?
Oh man, it's a tough one, man. It's kind of hard to reply to that, you know, because I don't know.
Well, when you were smoking dope, do you think it would help you get off dope, or you think it's helping you smoke more dope? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
More like it was helping me out,
Right?
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it.
man.
I just don't see the. I mean, there's so much money that they're. I feel that they're throwing away where they can actually be helping out the community. I think giving somebody needles, giving somebody crack pipes doesn't help the issue.
No, not at all, man. Shit. Now that you put it that way, I was like, okay, you're right.
Jonathan, talk to us.
What's up, boo boo?
What's going on, man?
Hey,
Talk to us.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Michelle, it's me, Jonathan.
Hi, baby.
I've been listening to you guys this thing the whole time. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm a drug addict myself. I'm actually recovering myself. I just got out of prison. It's kind of hard to be out here in the streets, knowing that everything's around me, knowing that I can run to it, you know. But the one thing that stops me is my son. So knowing that I lost a good friend of mine, knowing that I was with them that night, you know, 3 hours before everything happened, you know, don't get me wrong. Trust me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wanna run to it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I wanna run to it, but I choose not to because the first thing I think about is my son. I think about the pain that my family and friends are going through. I think about my mom. I think about my brother, and you know, we could do so much. We could do so much by telling them don't do it. But at the end of the day, we choose at the end of the day of what we want to do.
How old are you?
I am 28, going 29.
So that's Fabian's age. So you as a mom, this is Fabian here. What would you say to him, Mom?
What would I say to Fabian's mom?
No, I'm asking Fabian's mom to talk to you as a 20-year-old young guy who's going through drug problems.
So the same thing, like I told Fabian, you do everything for your son. And anyone that would come across you, say your friends are doing the same thing, anyone that you're giving it to, see that person as your son.
Mm.
You know, you don't want to give that to your son, of course. So, I mean, or like I had a friend say, tell one of her sons that's addicted. The grandpa said, next time you feel like taking it, give it to me first. You know, it's like me telling Fabian, next time you want to take the drug, give it to me first. You know, so that I can die because you're killing me basically. You know, and
True that.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like I would tell any one of my friends that maybe are going through this. If you need somebody, some help, some anything, reach out to me. Call me. If you just want to talk, if you need me to take you somewhere, you know, just reach out to me because I know a lot of people can't go. They feel like they can't go to their parents, or it's easier to talk to a stranger, you know. So if you can find that, at least that one person that you can go to, and sometimes I think maybe we need to go to some kind of support.
Of course.
I wish I would have gone to a support group that maybe could have showed me how to deal with this. You know, it's too late now, but
Yeah, and the only thing I can tell you, homie, is that like Fabian's pain is gone, but all his family members are in pain now. So your pain may be gone because you're feeling pain because what happened to my nephew, and you want, like you said, you wanted to run back to it. But let's just say you OD tonight, your pain will be gone, but your mom, your son, your father, your aunts, your uncles, their pain will just begin. And that's a lot more pain than what you're going through. So like my sister says, man, if you just need to talk to somebody, you know how to get a hold of me. Call me up, man. You want me to pick you up in the neighborhood? I'll go pick you up. You want to go have something to eat? Fucking call me. I'll take you out to eat, and we'll fucking chop it up. I mean, you're my homeboy. You from my neighborhood, dog. Like, I would never deny you.
Right. And if you guys need any kind of rehab places, we have a lot of resources. You guys can call this number all the time. I answer it all the time. Somebody hit me up about 2 weeks ago from Sun Valley about a rehab. I call Pastor Ray. He sends me the thing. It's what it comes down to, carnal, is how bad you want it. And just like how when I say we should make peace within gangs because we're killing one another, and people will sit there and tell me, well, Gil, my homeboy died. I said, yeah, well, my homeboy died too. If we continue to kill one another, they died in vain. If we use their deaths to get our lives together, then they died for something. So if you get your life together, you do your thing for your family, for yourself more than anybody else, you can look back at Fabian's death not as something that just some guy died of an overdose. It was something that some guy gave his life so he can save yours, my man. And that's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah. And also, man, keep my nephews alive in your heart, bro. Like back in the 90s, we were going through the same thing, dog. We were going through the same thing with some of my homeboys that OD'd in the 90s, but back then it was heroin, and the only thing I do is I keep them in my heart. I keep them alive in my heart, and every once in a while I'll go visit them. Every once in a while I'll post them up on Instagram or Facebook. Just keep them alive in your heart, man. If you ever just need to talk to him because he's in your heart, bro. He's there for you. Just talk to him. He'll always be there.
The same way I went to school with him and Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna forget about them. I'm never gonna forget. I'm never gonna.
Yeah, and you never will. You never will, man. You never will. Believe me, I have homeboys that's been gone 30 years already. 35 years, bro, from the neighborhood. And I keep them alive in my heart. I never forget about them. Sometimes I'm just driving on the freeway and they pop in my head of all the good times we had. And all you can do is cherish those times and put a smile on your face when you do have those moments.
Thank you, all you guys. Thank you, and Mom, I'm always gonna keep my prayers for you guys, no matter what. Just know that.
For sure, homie.
Thank you. Now, do you hold any resentments towards his friends?
I don't, because I know he was a man. He made his own choices. Nobody forces him to do anything. I don't. But maybe that's just kind of because the
No,
person I am,
no, that's absolutely fair.
because I know some people, yeah, do,
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
but it's just me that I don't.
Yeah, yeah, no, I could see it like if maybe like a 16-year-old kid got drugs, and you had some older guy that gave him the drugs, but at his age, he was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
He was an adult, and hopefully some of his friends will see it, because the reality is this: the reality is that a lot of his homies that are on drugs this Friday, guess what they're gonna do?
Oh yeah.
They're gonna get high. They're gonna get high. They're gonna party for the homie. This is for the homie. This is for this, and hopefully some, because not all, but hopefully a few will sit there and figure out. Wait a minute, man, that could be me. And hopefully this will be an eye opener, and I think it will. But it goes both ways. It's just like when somebody dies in the hood.
Yeah.
Either you're gonna hit the gas or you're gonna pump your brakes.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a few that pumps their brakes, and there's gonna be a few that hit the gas, and hopefully, but hopefully again, we can learn from this. We can continue to definitely, this is part of our platform, boo boo. I
Yeah.
mean, whether we want it or not, this is part of it now.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and we need to keep people informed on stuff like this, man.
Of course, man. And the people that are going through it, you're not alone. You're not alone. You may feel alone, but you're not. There's a lot of us out there, including myself now, that's going through this. Reach out. Just reach out to somebody. Reach out to us on American Cholo. We're always taking phone calls. Bring it up. We'll discuss it if you need somebody to talk to.
Absolutely, man.
And yeah, you're just not alone, man. We're all going through this pain together.
Absolutely. So, Shady, you got any last words, my man?
Yeah, for those of you that were asking about the guy with the mask, I just want to let you guys know this has been a roller coaster. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been ill for the last 8 months. I've had 4 MRIs, 2 with contrast and 2 without. I've had X-rays, EKGs, blood work, you name it, like a guinea pig. So just so you know, it's there's something going on. Don't know what it is. I'm sure I'll get back on my feet again. But just wanted to clear that up. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Caller.
All right, let's see. We got a caller in the... Eddie, talk to us.
Talk to us.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
You there, Eddie?
Eddie.
I don't know. I think Eddie's phone line cut off.
Eddie, call back.
So how's this hitting you so much, boo boo?
It hit me last night hard. Last night I dropped off my daughter. She lives in Granada Hills. I live in Whittier, so I had a lot of time to think. I knew I was gonna put up another post, so on my way home I was just thinking, going through songs, through the story post. I was just going through songs and stuff like that, and so I found one. Nothing big. I was on the freeway. If I get home, so I start working on it, and as soon as I was working on that post and I put that post up last night, like, man, I was just started bawling by myself, So it really hit me last night.
Eddie, you back?
Yes, sir. How are you guys?
All right, and you, how you doing? Talk to us.
I'm doing well. You guys. Condolences, Boo Boo, to your familia.
Thank you.
And to your sister.
Thank you.
She seems like a very strong light and a bright
Yes.
person. Hearing her forgive, people around her son,
Yes.
or a dealer or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the case is, because you see in the news, like, I'm up in Northern California, and there's a couple cases out here in the suburbs where the family wants to put the dealer away for life, right? And it's usually like a friend or an acquaintance, and it's sad because it's like a cycle, right?
Yes.
But I just wanted to say that for anybody dealing with this now, because there's thousands of us probably
Yes.
dealing with this or have dealt with it or
Yes.
have seen people pass of overdose, or have seen people pass of like cirrhosis at a young age and things of that nature, that there are alternatives, you guys. There's fentanyl kits that you can buy that will test your pills. And I recommend looking for those if you guys are still using and or dealing with this addiction. Also, there's alternatives that are herbal too. And the herbal alternatives are controversial, of course, right?
Of course.
But in my personal experience, they do work.
Mhm.
And you have to be careful with them, of course. Like THC, if you use too much THC and then you stop using, you won't sleep, right? You'll have insomnia. So kind of a similar type of thing. Yeah, Mija? I'm talking to somebody on the phone about a current event. My baby girl's going to bed here.
That's
So I
right.
just wanted to say that there is a light at the end of the tunnel for anybody still dealing with this. And there's so many alternatives, guys, and we have to research those and ask for those, and don't be afraid. And you will make it out of it. You will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, it's a battle for your life. It's a war, and you got to keep fighting for your life, and you will survive. So I just wanted to mention those couples of things. You know, there's an herbal alternative. It's controversial, so I won't mention it. People need to research it on their own.
Yes.
And then the fentanyl test kit. And then, like you said, brother Boo Boo, you said that there's a law, and that law is super in effect. Like, you can call, and they'll help you
Yes.
out, and you won't get charged for anything, even if, you know, you were there taking the drugs with your homie and
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah.
so
That's called
youngsters
the
and everybody use. You know,
Yeah, that's called the Good Samaritan law. I didn't know about it, so I started doing
Yeah.
research on it, and and hopefully that stops from people that overdose with their homeboys, and their homeboys just throw them in the gutter, and drive
That's
off
right.
and
Yeah.
drive off, because that happens a lot here in LA.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
everybody gets charged with something, and look at a lot of time. So that law actually stops that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful law.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I think that we get that out to the youngsters and the
Mhm.
youth, then the more we'll be able to help others and stuff like that. And also AA, everybody, do not be afraid to go into AA and talk about these things to start off with. Even if you're still using, walk in there and talk. And I know these are kind of like demands, we're kind of preaching, but
Yeah.
AA is a free service, and it really relieves the soul and can help people. I had a friend of mine, I won't go into my past that much, but a friend of mine was using opioids for like 10, 12 years of his life. He lost a toe on his foot in a warehouse accident,
Mhm.
and he was hooked like circa 2010. And he died in the hospital. He OD'd and died, and he was brought back to life through modern medicine or what have you. And AA saved his life. AA saved other friends of my life. So it's really good, and these are the things that we should be talking about. I'm so glad you guys opened up this conversation, and just wanted to throw some of these ideas out there. And God bless you guys.
That's right. Thank you, brother.
Moving
Thank you.
forward.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
God
Appreciate
bless.
that.
Thanks for the phone call, my man.
Yes.
Later.
Oof, this is not easy, brother.
No, not at all.
This is not easy.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you guys are barely in the thicks of things now. Are you guys setting up for a service and all that right now?
Yeah, we're waiting for the coroner to pick him up, and they have to do the autopsy, and then we'll actually get the dates.
Now, how long does that seem to? Do they give you a time frame?
It could take a week. It could take a couple weeks.
Ugh.
Just don't know. But the good thing is what we were advised by our friend Michelle is that you got to call them. You got to stay
Yeah, you have
calling. Otherwise, because there's, from what I'm saying, the hospital is telling me there's a lot of people dying,
Yes.
from whatever. So the more you call, they'll push them up. They'll bump them up and get them to the corner, and you can bury them faster. Some people, I guess, just leave them there and, for whatever reason. But it's good to call them and bug them.
Now, are you finding yourself like waking up every morning saying, "Is this a dream"?
Yeah. Yeah. I still, it's still like, it's not real. Yeah, it's not real.
Right?
Like, yeah. But like you said, anything I do, for some reason I couldn't post a picture. I'm trying to post a baby picture of him and trying to put the song, and the song is not working. And I'm like, Fabian, because he's always been about his looks.
He's a
You
good
know?
looking kid. Good
Yeah.
looking kid.
And to me, it was him. Like, no, mom, don't post it. So anything I do, I just, I think about him, and I just feel at the moment that I need to be stronger for everyone else.
Well, don't be too strong. You got to take some time for yourself. You definitely do.
I break down when I'm by myself.
Yeah, I'd find myself driving and just pulling over because I'm crying.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You gotta let that process happen. But just like I said, just talk to people. Just talk to someone. Even like platforms like this, who knows? You might find yourself going from platform to platform, speaking about your experience, speaking about Fabian, keeping his name alive, and helping other families that need the help, because especially in the Latino community, we are embarrassed a lot of times. We don't want to speak about certain stuff, but we have to speak about it because that's the way we help others from, going through the same thing we're going through.
Exactly.
And I want to thank you. I want to give you a moment to, say whatever you have to say about your son, about your family, and, and any other parents that may be going through the same thing you're going through.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone, family, friends, everyone on this live chat, all the support, prayers, the donations. It's overwhelming, but we appreciate everything that you're doing. We know that you're feeling the loss as well. But I just want to show anything positive that comes from this, from anything about my son, it warms my heart, and to know that you actually see us, you may be friends, but see us as family. And I don't even have the words to express how thankful me and his father and his brothers and sisters. God, I can't even stop there. It's like he has millions of cousins, aunts, uncles, and just everything is appreciated, And I want to thank my brother for bringing this to the table, and you for having us here, and for you for being a great support to me. And then,
Yeah, I want to say something to his parents, which is my sister and his dad, Box. You guys were wonderful parents. I've never, ever, ever seen you guys treat them like shit. I mean, I understand like you guys had to discipline them. That was good, but I don't want you guys to take the blame of, oh, I was a bad parent. I was this, I was that, or, because you both of you were not bad parents. You guys gave it your all. You did it your all, and you guys have to be commended for that. And I just want to thank both you and Box for being his dad, and I mean being his kids.
Right.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. But just you guys did a great job on raising him.
And I think with that, we're out, Boo Boo. We'll definitely, we'll talk now and make some plans to keep Fabian's name going on. And, my condolences to all you guys, your family, your homies. It's something that's extremely unfortunate that too many families in America are going through. But thank you guys for just sharing. I mean, this is something that is not easy, that a lot of people just would not do. Thank you guys for sharing. All you guys who donated, we just had a final donation right now. Juan Gonzalez, $50. My condolences to you, Boo Boo, and your sister.
Thank
Que
you.
Dios te bendiga. Absolutely, man.
Thank you.
God bless you guys that helped out. 100% of the proceeds will be going to the family. If anybody else wants to donate, there's a GoFund up there. It's already hard enough to bury a child without having to do the whole financial burden that comes with burial nowadays. Thank you guys for all tapping in. And, if anybody that has a problem out there with drugs, get involved, man.
Yes.
Get involved. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. We're all going through this thing in one shape or another, and that's what makes us a family when we come together, when we have a problem. And I want to thank everybody on the live, and thank you guys for sharing.
And thank you for supporting.
All right, brother. We're out. Ugh.